Okay, hello and welcome to a little video I wanted to do regarding the special assignment titled Sources of Information. And the essential goal of this particular assignment is to recognize, experience, and analyze the fact that there are multiple sources of information on the same topic. And we as consumers of information need to recognize the strengths and weaknesses of each kind of source. And so what I'm having you do is to identify a social topic. It can be Black Lives Matter. It can be racism. It can be sexism. It can be homophobia. It could be non-problem based. It could be banking. It can be any sort of social topic. You just look right through the whole course book. Doesn't have to be a problem. Doesn't have to, just, something that you would have a construct about. And then if you wanted, let's make believe that if you wanted to learn more information about that, where would you go? It's kind of cool to kind of pick a topic where you might have to really make a decision about something. Like say you really wanted to come to conclusions about, I'm trying to think of one here off the top of my head. Tattoos. An individual, what is the social impact of tattoos? What is all that? And all that. So you want to kind of like get your head wrapped around that. So there's all kinds of places that you can look up. And, the easiest thing to do is just Google, and, there's actually a market for individuals to pay to come in, take your content, and make sure that it appears on the first page of certain Google searches, because the number of times that people go to the second page is so low. First page means someone's going to click on you. So we're often readily able to click that first couple links and get our piece of information there, and that may or may not be a good source. So I'm having you purposefully take a topic and then look for information on that topic in 3 different sources. Now those sources are, going to the rubric here. Your first source is a YouTube video, a Twitter conversation, or a blog. The YouTube ones and the blog ones are probably going to be the easiest one to find, rich information. So I want you to go there and learn about tattoos. The second one is to go to a newspaper or magazine. Now, newspapers and magazines for general readership. So this is a newspaper article in, like, say, the Morning Sentinel or the Kennebec Journal or something like that, New York Times. And a magazine would be, say Forbes magazine or People magazine or anything like that. Look up tattoos. What did you learn from there? And then finally, finding a topic in the research literature. This is peer-reviewed article, being that you will have to go to our library, access the EBSCO database, and find a peer-reviewed article on tattoos. And you're going to be doing a comparison. You're going to be looking at each one of those and providing an evaluation for each source. And then you're going to describe the methods that you used. Kind of tell me how you went about doing this, stepwise. And then you're going to draw a conclusion as to which source is the best for what purpose. Now, so for example, there's kind of a popular YouTube series out there where they take a scientist and they say, explain this concept. But they explain it to like a 5-year-old, an 11-year-old, a 18-year-old, and a 40-year-old. And how do they change the way they say that message? And so there's a certain level of appropriateness for each source. depending on what it's good for. So if you wanted visual information on tattoos and whatnot, maybe that YouTube video is the best way to go. But it might not be the best for looking at the potential dangers or how it might impact your hiring. Whereas the newspaper article might be a little bit better on that stuff, but it might be of an incident. It's a particular incident of an individual who was denied employment because they had tattoos and, whatever. But then it lacks all the visuals. So it's not as good for the visuals, but it's good for that, kind of maybe there's some dangers in it. And then maybe all the way to the research article is where you find the cultural traditions associated with, what are the meanings of different symbols? What is tattooing meaning over the years? The academic view, or maybe even, what are trends in our society of becoming more and more accepting of body art and much different from the past. So you see how each different one, you're not going to toss any of them out. I want you to evaluate how each one is good, what it lacks, what it's good for, what it's not good for, so that you understand that you have access to all of these, and which one you use depends on what you're trying to accomplish. So, for example, if you're doing a research paper and you're exploring the viewpoint of a field of study, such as psychology or sociology, on a particular topic, if you're going to do a research paper on tattoos, for example, you wouldn't go to YouTube and you wouldn't go to the newspaper article. You'd go right to the peer-reviewed literature. However, if you were doing a current events paper on tattoos, you may look at more newspaper articles and whatnot, because those are in print faster, so that'd be better for that. But then if you wanted to do a visual presentation of the different art forms involved in tattooing, you might get your best sources from blogs and YouTube videos. So that's the purpose of the assignment, is to see that you can look for topics in different ways. So you're going to be preparing this document that demonstrates your ability to look for a single topic in each one of those different formats, and then finishing, the evaluation of that and writing it up all nice. Make sure there's a nice title page, make it all nice and easy to read. Big, bold categories. That's how I like to get papers, so it's easy for me to find what you're talking about at particular times, and it'll be great. So this is my little tutorial about sources of information assignment. Go out there and do that. It's due this week. If that's a problem, please get in touch with me, and we can work something out. But it's in truth, when you know what you're looking for, and I hope you do now, it's really one of those kind of like one-nighters. I'm just going to crank this out. So good luck in getting that in, and I look forward to seeing them.